It's working! Hello everyone, it's good to see you. Sorry about the delay. I know I tweeted on the Twitters that we are ready to go. We are now, in fact, ready to go. There were some weird errors. It happens here in the universe as well as on the D&D channel. So welcome, I am Greg Tito. I'm here for Dungeons & Dragons News. I'm going to throw everything I can at you about what's happening because sadly, there is no Dice Camera Action episode today at 4 p.m. That's right, we are taking a break for this week as we prepare for the start of the next season of Dice Camera Action. Very cool stuff. We've got a lot of great news coming at you. In fact, at the end of this, I will be showing with you the new animated intro for Dice Camera Action, which you can all partake and enjoy. It will be playing at the start of the next season. A lot of fun people worked on it. I think Bar Carol went into it in detail on the Dragon Plus thing about a week ago. We're going to show it to you live here just as a sneak peek before you get ready for next week's beginning of Season 4 for Dice Camera Action with Chris Perkins. Okay. I want to tell you about a whole bunch of fun stuff that's happening with Dungeons & Dragons. Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes is dropping not this month, next month, May 18th. And it will be in game stores. It is a book that is full of new monsters and lore about said monsters, concentrating on monsters at the higher end of the challenge level. So if you've been playing for a few years, a lot of the monsters and challenges in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes will be appropriate for your party, which would be really awesome. There's also a lot of low-level stuff in there as well. And the first part of the book, similar to Volo's Guides to Monsters, delves into a few different parts of Dungeons & Dragons lore, which I'm really excited about. So you'll learn about the schism between the Drow and the rest of the elves, and a little bit about how elves kind of formed in the Forgotten Realms, as well as the Gith Yankee and the Gith Zerai, and their ongoing feuds and or mortal battles with the evil empire of the Mind Flayers. They are terrible. Both Gith Yankee and Gith Zerai hate the Mind Flayers, but some of them hate them a little bit more. And each other. So, like you do. So you'll find out all about that, as well as the Duergar and dwarves, halflings and gnomes, who are not a part of any kind of internal conflicts, but there is some more detail about how they have been able to get away from all kinds of conflict, as well as, I'm skipping one, oh yes, Devils and Demons. That's right, all about the Blood War, how they have been fighting in the two layers of the two planes of existence, the Abyss as well as the Nine Hells. There's more details about the leaders of the layers of the Nine Hells, including Asmodeus, the supreme ruler of the devils in the Nine Hells, as well as some of the other feudal lords over our archdevils of those specific layers. Some more details about the demons as well, and how they have been pushing forward, reprinting some of our stat blocks from Out of the Abyss, when the demon lords kind of raised supreme and came into the Underdark. A story that is a fond part of my, I guess, newbiness of being a Dungeons & Dragons employee. I ran a Out of the Abyss campaign here on the D&D Twitch channel way back in the day in 2015 into 2016, which feels like an ages ago, but isn't that actually that long ago? I guess that's only 2 years. Crazy. So as I said, the release date of that in game stores is May 18th. It'll be out everywhere May 29th, and May 18th you'll get the chance to purchase an alternate cover of Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, designed by our wonderful friends. They are the best at designing things. I am forgetting what the name of them. Vance Kelly, that's the name of him. He designed the special cover, and then Jason Rainville designed the cover that you can get also in game stores and everywhere else on May 29th. So, to celebrate all of that, we've been previewing a lot of content from Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes on Mordenkainen's Mayhem. We're in the finals for that. Actually, will be occurring next Monday on the D&D Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DND at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You'll check that out. Tons of fun. But I have a new thing I want to tell you about, which is called the Podcasts of Foes. Our friends Victoria Rogers from the Broadswords put together a wonderful roster of podcast, live play, audio, D&D episodes that will be one-shots dealing with monsters and lore that is in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. So these are great ways to preview some of the content through actual real live play from some of your favorite live streamed or live play audio podcasts out there. So we've got some that we had last year for the Podcast of Annihilation, and with a lot more. So more than 20. Venture Maiden, Sneak Attack, Dungeon Drunks, Lawful and Orderly, Roll Like a Girl, Drunks and Dragons, Redemption, Heroes Not Included, D20 Dames, RPG Academy, Taking Initiative, D&D Raw, Tabletop, Potluck, You Meet in a Tavern, Shadow of the Cabal, Dungeons, Dice, and Everything Nice, D&D is for Nerds, The Broadswords, Dice for Brains, Nerd Poker, The Dice Unkind. We'll all be doing audio podcasts. Shout out to all of them. They're wonderful people. They do great work. There will also be 2 live streams. You can watch the ITU Trash Crew on Sunday, May 13th, as well as Return to Greyhawk on Sunday, May 20th. A whole bunch of new content that is, again, focusing on what makes Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes really fun. So go check out that. You can go to dnd.wizards.com/MTOF to learn all about that, as well as what's coming with Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. So go check it out. All right. Again, thank you to Victoria Rogers for organizing and getting everybody all together for this Podcast of Foes kind of thing. You rock. All right. Other fun stuff. Dark and Dicey. That's right. Nate. From Nate Wants to Battle, Nathan Sharp, also known as Paulton. He is starting up a new group of live streaming role players from the Los Angeles area. It is starting on May 14th. Nate is playing not a Paulton. He's playing a Kenku swamp druid named Pluck. Which I find quite hilarious. The Dungeon Master is KG Tang. We spoke to Nate and KG yesterday on Dragon Talk. That episode should be coming out in the next week or so on the RSS feed, which I've now fixed. So those of you who have listened to Dragon Talk on the podcast feeds, I apologize for it being borked for a couple of days there. It is now fixed, I've been told, and that will be releasing then. But there's also a few cast members that Nate and the crew have announced, such as Hunter Hughes. He'll be playing a Oathbreaker Paladin named Kovacs. And Christina V, who is Nate's fiance, is playing a Yuan Ti Pureblood Warlocks named Anya, which is extremely creepy. I can't wait to sign. As you can tell, they're being a little bit more on the how can I say, not good side of things. I wouldn't say that they're all inherently evil, but they are definitely they're not quite on the good side of things, if I could say so. So go check them out while you can. I'm scrolling actually to find, because there also is another cast member they've already announced called Anna Brisbane, who is playing Trixa Tirdu, a halfling barbarian, which also sounds pretty exciting. So they're starting up on May 14th. It'll be on Mondays at 7 p.m. Pacific time here on the twitch.tv/DND channel. Good stuff there, and go ahead and follow Dark and Dicey on Twitter. It's at DarkAND Dicey to get more updates on their cast as they are announced, because I think they've got at least one unannounced cast member who should be pretty exciting for all involved to pay attention to. So cool. Also, I don't know if, you can't see, so I'm going to stand up a little bit. I'm wearing this awesome t-shirt. It's the now at the following link that will be in there. It's custom ink, all to support the Lambert House, which is a nonprofit that benefits kids in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and questioning youth here in the Seattle area. We, Wizards of the Coast, definitely support inclusive gaming wherever it can be. We want everyone from all walks of life to enjoy our games, and I love that this company supports that, and puts their money where their mouth is, so to speak, about all getting as many people as comfortable as playing Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, Avalon Hill as we possibly can. We went to the Seattle Pride Parade as a company for the first time last year, and many of them had t-shirts that were similar to this. I know Jeremy Crawford on the D&D team, co-creator, had I'm holding up like this because he was holding a shield that had the rainbow ampersand on it, which is actually now in the office, which is super cool. So a lot of people saw all of our gear gear that we were wearing at the Pride Parade and wanted to find out how they could get more of them. Well, this is how. Go to the links that are in the chat right now and you can pick up this t-shirt. All the benefits will go towards the Lambert House, so it goes to a good cause, getting more people involved in figuring out who they are and what everything is going on. So that's really, really good stuff. Go there and pick up a shirt if you can. It is definitely appreciated. Cool. We have also some fun stuff going on in the publishing world. So Art and Arcana is a visual history coming from 10 Speed Press. The writers Michael Whitwer, Kyle Newman, John Peterson, and Sam Whitwer, great creators and authors in their own right, as well as historians of Dungeons & Dragons. They put together this amazing book that traces all of the history of the artwork of Dungeons & Dragons from its inception in the 70s through all the editions to now. There is more than 400 pages, more than 700 pieces of art. It's in, I quote, "the most comprehensive collection of D&D imagery ever assembled," making this the ultimate collectible for the game's millions of fans around the world. How can you avoid something that sounds as cool as that? It's like a coffee table book for the ages. I love it, and you should too. It's out on October 23rd, 2018, but you can pre-order it now if you can. The artwork has always been a gateway into Dungeons & Dragons for me, and I bet many other fans. So if you were like that, this is a book that you might want to pick up and give to, or give to that D&D fan that's in your life in the holidays. Speaking of things you can give to the D&D fanatics in your life, I have this amazing Sararak Plaint Splatter hoodie that you can get right now. It's at ThinkGeek. This is the back of the hoodie, and then in the front, here's the actual hood, as you can see. For those of you who don't know how a hood works, you wear it like this, I'm pretty sure. But I think you can do it like this also. It's got a yellow D&D ampersand, as well as a nice little yellow pouch there for you to put your stuff in. I love this thing. I'll be wearing it a lot. It is available at ThinkGeek right now, in addition to a couple of other fun stuff, including a Galactic shirt. They're calling it the D&D Galactic shirt. It is purple with a pink ampersand with some, that grid in the background that runs forward like you're playing Tron or something like that. Really cool shirt. Every time I've worn it, people have complimented me on it. So dig that up and grab that if you can. Also, there is the D&D Hawaiian shirt, which if you are a fan of all of the apparel that Gary Gygax, one of the co-creators of Dungeons & Dragons, almost every picture I've ever seen of Gary, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. This one is kind of a commemoration of that. It's got the D&D ampersand in it as well. And so it's getting to be those summer months, people. Put on those Hawaiian shirts and get out there barbecuing and show your geek cred as much as you can. Neverwinter Lost City of Omu is coming out on PS4 and Xbox One this Tuesday. That's right, today you can currently play the latest content from Neverwinter. It takes you to the Lost City of Omu, where the temple, Tomb of Annihilation is, the Temple of the Lost Nine Gods. You can delve into that in the jungles of Chult. It's great content. It's been out on PC for a couple of weeks. It is now available to those of you who play Neverwinter on the consoles. If you don't know what Neverwinter is, it is an action MMO set in mostly the beginning levels in the city of Neverwinter itself on the Sword Coast. But they have traveled over the years to different areas, such as the Frozen North during Storm King's Thunder, battling the Frost Giants, now to the jungles of Chult for the Tomb of Annihilation storyline, and who knows where they're going to go next. I don't know. I do know. But I don't know where they're going to go next. It's going to be lots of fun. So we'll hear more about that from Neverwinter as they get ready to gear up and let us all know about it. But in the meantime, go jump into the latest content if you're at the latest, highest levels. And if not, jump in and play. It's free to play. You get lots of lore about what's been happening with Dungeons & Dragons. You can follow along with storylines that have been happening in 5th edition since it was published in 2014, including Tyranny of Dragons and Out of the Abyss and Princes of the Apocalypse, all that stuff. is traced and has enemies and ancillary stories that are going on alongside it. So great way to delve into D&D lore in a massively multiplayer way. It's good stuff. What else? So Warriors of Waterdeep is coming fast. It is a mobile game. If you're not into the whole, playing online from your PC or console, you can play on your phone. This new game is going to be coming out from Warriors of Waterdeep, from Ludia. They have been making lots of fun games from licensed partners, including a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game and a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World game, which is tons of fun. This one is called, as I said, Warriors of Waterdeep. You'll be able to go on mini tasks for the Open Lord, Laeral Silverhand of Waterdeep, trade with Mert the Moneylender, shop with Durnan, the proprietor of the Yawning Portal, who was shown on the cover of Tales from the Yawning Portal from last spring. Lots of fun stuff. 12 classes, 9 races, a little bit more of a tactical RPG. You will have fighters who will be able to attack in a line combat or area of effect. Some light RPG elements of being able to go in one direction or the next. Tons of fun. They are busy testing. I've seen a bunch of vertical slices about that, and I'm excited about it. So coming in Q2, and look for that. There's a trailer that we can link to, as well as, oh yes, and Lauren got the thing in there right now. How are you guys doing? Yes, I know, but I can't say anything. I'm just reading the chat here, seeing how you guys are doing. Yeah, all that fun stuff. Everybody's getting in there. I like it. Yeah, I can never. Oh, the Retro Gamer Bay. You just you can never find yourself wanting to play. Well, sometimes it's all about finding the right group. Honestly, like I try to get my friends to play. Wasn't D&D. It was Middle Earth role playing back in the day in the '90s. I was a big Tolkien fan, still am. But they were, geek adjacent, and they never quite got it though. So it wasn't until I found my group, my people that I could communicate with, their style of role playing meshed with mine. That my fandom of D&D really kind of exploded. So sometimes those aren't your crew. Sometimes it's not like your major friends that you hang with on a daily or weekly basis. Sometimes it's a new group of friends, which is kind of what I love about Dungeons & Dragons. It's a great way to meet new people that you wouldn't normally under the framework of creating a story together. Speaking of that, I want to tell you about some fun, no, actually before I'll do that, I'll tell you about Beamdog, because they are some of my new friends that I've made since joining the D&D team. Trent Oster and the crew up in Edmonton, Canada, they are busy working on the Neverwinter, well, they've already released the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. Tons of fun. That was a great game back in the early aughts. And they have updated it for modern gameplay, as well as updating the user interface to make it better for those of you playing in the current scheme of things. And the coolest part about it is all the old saves and old mods that you used to play with back in the day, you can just play with them now. There was this great module building community in the 2000s around Neverwinter Nights. In fact, I know many people who use that as their calling card to get jobs in the industry. You can still use all those, and there's persistent servers, there's lots of fun stuff. The community around Neverwinter Nights is amazing, and it will only be enhanced with this enhanced edition. So I suggest you check that out on Steam or on the Beamdog website. They also have a standalone game called Siege of Dragonspear that is Baldur's Gate-like. It takes place between Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2, tells a story in between. So go check that out. That's available on tablets, on Android tablets, as well as Apple tablets, Google Play, and Apple App Store. You can get it now. So, some fun things going on, D&D in the press. We've got some really great people talking about the podcasts of foes. I really liked that Polygon, Tribality, as well as our friends at Cinema Blend really described everything you needed to do in order to watch or listen to the podcasts of foes. So thank you to William Usher for writing this article detailing it all. The only thing he forgot was that it's on the Dungeon Delve podcast feed. It's a new, not a new, but a separate RSS feed from our main podcast podcast, Dragon Talk feed. That's where all of those adventures will live. And he goes through and talks about how it's a great way to get some of this content preview ahead of time, not just in visual form, but in this audio form. So thank you for writing up that article for us. As well, our friend of the brand, Joe Manganiello, wrote an op-ed, a optional editorial. Is that what op-ed stands for? I guess so. All about that D&D is a creative outlet for people like him, writing that his generation became super nostalgic and they want to get together on a Friday night or a Saturday night with their friends around a table and be social and play a social game. I think he's talking about how much of our world is looking down on our phones. I do it all the time, even when I'm hanging out with my children. They will sometimes yell at me. In fact, I got a Father's Day card in which I was watching my daughter climb a tree, and then she drew me looking at my phone, watching her climb a tree. In all honesty, I was probably taking a picture of her climbing the tree, but the point was, this is you on your phone, and I knew you were going to be upset, so I did one with you not on your phone. All that being said, I think Joe makes a great point that Dungeons & Dragons is super fun. It is face-to-face contact. You're telling a story together. You're creating memories of a made-up game that is going to be somehow more real feeling than real life can be sometimes. The memories that you create together can have a more impact and bring you more joy than anything else out there. So I think that's really cool. I appreciate Joe writing that thing, and if you want to go check it out, follow those links, because it's pretty cool to see someone who identifies much more as a athlete. He's very tall. He's obviously pretty handsome. I've been told, and he loves Dungeons and Dragons so much, and I love that he's breaking stereotypes left and right just by being the huge D&D fan that he is. So that's amazing. Much thanks to him, and I hope we see more of Joe interacting with the Dungeons and Dragons brand going forward. Also, one thing I want to let you know, there was an awesome article at Sci-Fi Wire interviewing our friend of the brand, Jim Zub, who is the writer of a new series of Dungeons and Dragons comic books. Dungeons & Dragons Evil at Baldur's Gate. I've mentioned Baldur's Gate a couple of times, but Minsc and Boo are characters within this storyline, as well as Krydal, Shandy, Delina, and Neris. This group that Jim has been telling the story of for, I think, 3 series at this point. Starting with Baldur's Gate, then I think he went to Elemental, went to Ravenloft, then Frost Giant's Fury, and now coming back to the city of Baldur's Gate. Each of the characters has their own issue. There's 5 issues in this mini-series. Each of the 5 issues has a artist that is distinct and brings their distinct art style to it. So Jim talked pretty extensively with the folks at Sci-Fi Wire about each one of the issues and how they paired really well with the artist. But the first one that's coming out next week, I believe, is it's all about Minsc. And Jim says Minsc is used to being the people's hero, a beloved adventurer, looked up to by the poor and the downtrodden of Baldur's Gate. And what he finds when he gets back is that he's not the only hero that is the people's hero of Baldur's Gate. He might have to find, he's got a bit of a rival, but there's tons. Excuse me. All of the article there for Sci-Fi Wire has got tons of previews. You can see the artwork. I think it's fantastic. My favorite is a duel and a combat that Minsc and Boo, if you don't know who Boo is, that is the companion of the Ranger Minsc. It is a miniature giant space hamster, which has tons of references in itself to the Spelljammer universe, but I always loved Boo, and one of my favorite bits is in Baldur's Gate is Minsc telling Boo to go attack and go for the eyes, Boo. And in this comic panel, you can see, in fact, Boo shooting out forward and trying to bite the combatant's face, and Minsc says, "Strike now, my hamster." Fun stuff. I think Jim really nailed the character and inflection that is Minsc the Mighty. And if you've ever seen Jim, he actually guested on a Dice Camera Action way back in the day as Minsc himself. Or no, actually, I think that was That was it was not a Dice Camera Action. It was a Chris Lindsay One Grung Above episode. So if you haven't checked that out, you should. I'll leave it to Lauren to go look up that specific thing. She might have that link handy. Who knows? But it is super fun and worth checking out because again, he just nailed the inflection of Minsk really well. So go check out that article. He goes into all the other details about what each issue is about and the artist that he worked with. I'll be talking more about those in D&D news to come as they get released. But it is good stuff and worth your while. So I would be remiss to not mention Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. There's a new champion. You can potentially get in there a Githzerai Monk Narak in Green Gas of the Green Grass event that's going on right now until tomorrow. That's Wednesday, 4/25. Go check that out if you don't know what Idle Champions is. It is a idle game, a clicker game that you can get on Steam, sending your champions that you recruit out on adventures. They kill monsters, they get XP, they get gold, but they do it all in real time. So you can kind of send them out, have them go, and then you can collect all of their earnings afterwards. Tons of fun. There is a strategy element of making sure you get the right party members in the right position so as to best complete your goals. Really worthwhile. There's lots of great characters in there, including Minsk and Boo, as well as a ton of the fun Force great characters such as Joe Manganiello's Arkin the Cruel. D&D Beyond is a great tool that you can use digital at your table for face-to-face conversation. You get the best of both worlds there. I make almost all my characters in D&D Beyond now. It's just so simple and easy. In fact, I made my wife's character when we got to play with some friends over the weekend. She's very new to Dungeons & Dragons, and she jumped into it whole hog because having the character sheet in front of her was just that much easier. So D&D Beyond is great for old players, experienced players, and newer players who want to jump in. Really great. They have some fun stuff I want to tell you about, including the fact that they have Unearthed Arcana content in there. That is playtest content that's created by Jeremy Crawford and Mike Merles that they want to get feedback on. You can now make characters using some of that content. The order domain for clerics is available now up on D&D Beyond. You can also create your own homebrew content in there, including spells, items, monsters, and now subclasses. That's right. You guys at home can create your own homebrew subclass within the D&D class framework that you can use in your game, allow it to be public so other people can use it. That's such a great feature. I think it really speaks to the creative nature of D&D as a whole and how everybody is a creator and can make stuff. So D&D Beyond is embracing that, and I think it's great. There's a character sheet revamp coming for that, so go check it out if you can. Dragon Plus issue 819 is out now. That is an app that you can get on your iOS or Android device, as well as at dragonmag.com. New issue is all about Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes previews, as well as a wonderful look at R.A. Salvatore's 30th anniversary since the publication of The Crystal Shard, which was the first novel published in the Legend of Drizzt story. So we're excited about that. Go check out Dragon Plus. Tons of fun stuff in there if you have not seen it in the past. So streaming wise, I want to just do some quick stuff. I know we're totally late, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, because there's no Dice Camera Action episode breathing down my neck, so I don't have to talk quite so fast, but I am anyway. Sorry about that. But yes, I will be telling you the Dice Camera Action intro in just a couple minutes. I just want to let you know about what's happening this week, and that's always exciting. So tonight we have Sirens of the Realms at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Satine Phoenix is playing with Vivid Vivka, Kate Elliott, Lady Danger, and Cynthia, with a special guest star tonight of Jason Charles Miller. So they interview every guide in the inn last episode, trying to find the one that is both trustworthy and reliable. They found the right guide, and maybe they found God. I'm not sure about that. The friends were made, lots of food was eaten, and now they're trying to get supplies before the journey that they are about to go off. But hey, maybe they get attacked, and so we'll see how that resolves. Tonight, there is the return of Acquisitions Incorporated C Team tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time. I know Kate Welch here on the D&T team, who plays Rosie Beestinger in C Team, has been very anxious to get back to playing. It's been a couple of weeks, and I think she's feeling the burn of not having rolled enough dice in that meantime. So go look for that. This is the second half of season 2 So that's pretty exciting. And then go check out Maze Arcana Inkwell Society. We're hosting that. It is Neo Noir with a lot of great players. Dungeon Master Rudy Rutenberg, including Sig Neutron, Satine, Kyle Vogt, B. Dave Walters, Nora Imbraham, and Kai Norman. I love everything that they're doing, creating zero-level characters and creating their classes on the fly. I can't wait to see where they end up. In practice, they probably have ended up somewhere by this point. Thursday, we've got Codename Entertainment, Idle Champions. You'll find out more about what's happening with those weekly events that Codename always has running for that game. And then Power Score RPG has got Waffle Talk going over. I'm pretty sure he's gonna Sean McGovern is going to go over the entire last season, perhaps picking out best moments, things like that, talking about what's to come for Season 4. And then Trapped in the Birdcage is Strix herself, Dungeon Master Holly Conrad, running her awesome cast through the Sigil, the Planescape kind of storyline going on there. Episode 7, they prepared for their big fight. The Spine Ripper and the Acute Annihilator. Those are the cool names of the group. I'm not sure those are quite that cool. Yox, the Ooze Mephit, was summoned from his bottle again, which was a wonderful guest star, if I remember correctly. And the crowd starts fighting a Cyclops in the pit. And in the middle of the fight, the group is turned into ooze and sucked through the floor, through a portal, into the sewers. And in the middle of the sewers, they run into a mind flayer. And they try to run away from him, but it follows them. And then says hi. So I can't wait to see how that resolves itself when Holly gets behind the screen again on Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. We're, of course, hosting Critical Role, and then followed on Friday by Beam Dogs weekly event, Tales from Candlekeep, then Roll20, Tomb of Annihilation. Saturday, we've got Encounter Roleplay, Heroes Graveyard, and on Sunday, Maze Arcana, Orphan Echo. So great stuff going on there. I'm going to let you know now that I am not going to be recording a Dragon Talk live on Monday or doing D&D news here on next Tuesday. I think Nathan Stewart or Bart Carroll will be taking my place. I am traveling to the East Coast, back to my haunt in New England for my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, as well as a couple kids' birthdays and my friend's 40th birthday. So I'll be back on May 7th, and we'll do so. We have a couple of Dragon Talk episodes getting ready for that. So I'll miss you guys. I'll miss you guys very much. You are the best. I'm going to leave you here now with the new intro, the new animated intro created by some really talented folks. We're going to play that now. It's only about a minute long. It gets into some really fun stuff, and then we'll say goodbye after that. But here it is, the animated intro for Dice Camera Action Season 4. There we have it. All right, thank you guys. Caleb Wood and Sean Wood and Adam Lee did a great job putting together the animated intro with input from Chris Perkins, of course, and the rest of the D&D team. But they were the most incredible people who put that together, and I can't wait to be watching that before each Dice Camera Action episode of Season 4. So go check it out when we come back on May 1st at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Next Tuesday, I will not be here to bid you watching it, but that means I also can't go 10 minutes overtime either. So It should be tons of fun. I will be back again, as I said, on May 7th. I will see you guys on the D&D Twitch channel then. But in the meantime, you can follow me at Greg Tito on Twitter. I will still be monitoring a whole bunch of stuff as I'm away next week, and we'll be able to answer your questions there, as well as on Instagram at Greg_Tito. Follow me there for fun photo ops and all of that. But if you're interested in anything Dungeons & Dragons, go to DungeonsandDragons.com. Check out Wizards_DND on Twitter, on Instagram, and follow us on Facebook for all the latest updates, including some fun recaps of Morningcane's Mayhem. You can find posted on there, as well as more information about this here shirt, the Pride shirt that you can get at the Lambert House website that supports all of the fun stuff that we are doing to make D&D a more inclusive play space for everyone. So thank you again. You guys are wonderful. I am out. I will see you in about 2 weeks. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.